Hello, everyone, and welcome to 10 Minutes to a Better Building, a podcast brought to you by the building experts at Boland. I am your host, Tyler Kern. Thank you so much for joining us for another episode of the program. Today, we're diving back into service contracts, and we're going to talk a little bit about the ROI that you can get from service contracts and a little bit more about how you can make the most of them with Boland. So we're going to talk about some misconceptions as well and get into some of the nitty-gritty. And joining me today are two fantastic guests. First, we have Joe Lodico. He is an account representative at Boland. Joe, welcome to the show.
Hey, Tyler. Thanks for having me. Happy to be here.
Absolutely thrilled to have you on today, Joe. Pumped to have you on the show. We're also joined by Monica Lucas. She's an account executive at Boland. Monica, welcome to the program. Thanks for joining me.
Thanks, Tyler. Happy to be here.
Perfect. We are thrilled to have both of you on the program today. So, Monica, let's start off with you just to get us started and get the ball rolling here today. What are service contracts and why is it important for us to talk about them in the first place?
So pretty much the basics of a service contract is a maintenance agreement with a client or customer to take care of their equipment. But we don't like to keep it as just the bare basics of it. We try to go at a more consultative approach with our clients. So we take their building goals and try to put recommendations to those goals and try to fit that in their budget. So it's more of a conversation rather than us just going and completing just basic inspections. We try to take it a little bit more deeper and get the client's perspective from it as well.
Yeah, I think also to echo Monica's point, service contracts allow us to build a relationship with our clients and really help them out more than just being out there 4 times a year or so and maintaining their equipment, but helping them develop projects and budget, and finding opportunities and ways that they can utilize Boland's skills more than just inspections on mechanical HVAC equipment.
So, Joe, following up on that, where can your customers, your clients find return on investment when it comes to service contracts? In other words, why is this valuable financially for them?
Sure. Well, we work with our client. We bring in what we call the Applied Building Insight team. And what they can do with the right resources, energy bills and all that is find out really where clients are spending their money. Where's that water bill coming from? Where's that electric bill coming from? And, how is the mechanical equipment contributing to that? Where can we save you money? Where could you be more efficient? Where are your good standards at? And where could you use some assistance? Also, I think having a relationship with clients, you can really help them plan projects. They want to upgrade equipment that, might be 10, 15, 20 years old. You look at upgrading to something more efficient, there are returns on that. Depending on their location, there's payback there. And really working with our ABI team and finding that it's not just presenting a price for the job to the client, but also here's your payback. Here's where you're saving money on utilities. So there's all sorts of ROI opportunities within a service contract that Boland has the capability of presenting to our clients.
Yeah, so going off of that, we try to express the value of service contracts. It is an initial upfront cost that is paid throughout the year, but we try to tell our customers that there are return of investments and whether it just be taking care of their equipment or if we have their controls as well, we have reports and recommendations that we use to make their building more efficient and to save them as much money as possible. So like Joe was saying, we work with a lot of different departments and we try to get their utility bills and everything under their building and use that to make it a more efficient and cheaper cost for them.
That makes a lot of sense. Absolutely. So, Monica, from your perspective and from the conversations you've had with different people about service contracts, what are some of the common objections that you receive or common things that people have questions about or concerns about? What have you heard and what kind of feedback have you gotten in terms of, just concerns and things of that nature?
Yeah, so I feel like there are objections, and a big part of it is expressing the value of it, because sometimes our clients don't see the value of a service contract. If they have a brand new piece of equipment, they think it should be running at full efficiency already, and that since it's new and since they spent all that money on replacing it, that it should be good to go for a couple years. And we try to express to them that it's so important to take care of it from the very beginning instead of being more reactive to it. So we try to tell them a more proactive approach is what's going to save them in the long run.
Yeah, and I think to feed off what Monica's saying, there is a bit of an emotional approach too. You want to present them with, the option to take care of their mechanical equipment before it gets too late. You don't want, catastrophes or big time failures. That's going to cost clients thousands of dollars unexpectedly come up just because you weren't doing the bare minimum of, making sure your equipment is, running on a quarterly basis or, being cleaned or whatnot. And that we can find issues before they actually cause anything damaging. And we can report that to the client and let them know ahead of time before it's too late.
Certainly. That makes a lot of sense. Now, Joe, we heard Monica mention earlier just taking that consultative approach to working with your clients and taking a look at budget and things along those lines. Give us some detail on what it means and what it looks like to take a consultative approach. What sorts of factors are you factoring in? What sorts of things are you talking about as you take that approach and really work with your customers?
Well, the consultative approach is really up to the client. It's a conversation we would have at the beginning of the service contract, talks that we ask the client, what are your concerns? What are you looking for? Is it about having no downtime on equipment? Is it about keeping your tenants comfortable? Are you trying to conserve, efficiency? Are you trying to reach a certain energy score, that your corporate bosses have set as a goal? So there's so much we can do from a consultative approach, and working with those goals, reporting that back to them on a regular basis, and seeing what last month's inspection brought, seeing where the good points are at, and where things might be causing some issues. And it's a visual report we give them, and we go through that with them on a quarterly basis. And I think that really highlights to them this is much more than just a service contract. They're working with us and they're looking out for us as well.
Yeah, and going off of that too, we try to take our clients' goals. So even if we think that something else is more important for their building, we take their priority first and we let them know what we think and what our recommendations are. But if that doesn't line up with their goals, then we do our best to change our thought process and help them out with what their priorities are. So it is a conversation that we have with them, and it's an ongoing conversation instead of a one and done. We work with them throughout the year, and so it's just an ongoing conversation that we have.
Absolutely. That tracks along with kind of a lot of other topics we've talked about with Boland, just understanding what your customers' goals are and how you can help them reach those goals and meet them, I think is a theme of a lot of conversations we have, when we talk about what Boland does and what Boland offers. And Monica, just give us an idea of how important the service technicians are to this overall picture. What role do they play in this, and how can they also help improve, a client's outcome and make their building better? Talk us through the role of the service technician.
Yeah, so technicians are our number one, just the core person for every service contract that we have, because they're the ones doing the inspections. They're the ones that have eyes on the equipment every time they go out. So we really get a lot of insight from our technicians. And we keep in close touch with them after they have inspections, and just for our consultative approach, we get their recommendations, and we try to use the applied building insights team into kind of creating a umbrella of recommendations for them. And so they're very important. They're our number one eyes on the building. So, yeah.
I don't have enough good things to say about our technicians. I mean, they are awesome at what they do. Not only are they great with our clients and have their own relationships with our clients, but they're so technical and so aware of every piece of equipment in the buildings, what they work on. I mean, they're the face, of the service contract. They're there reporting, findings, making recommendations, doing the repairs. They're the ones on the roof when it's 90 degrees out. So, those guys are so valuable and so knowledgeable. There's not enough good things I could say about our service technicians.
Excellent stuff. So if people want to get in touch with you guys or just get in touch with Boland in general to ask more questions, to learn a little bit more about service contracts and what they provide and to hash some things out, Monica, what's the best way for them to get in touch, to learn more, to talk to you guys?
Yeah, so we have a website with a lot of information on it for service, for parts, whatever people need. And then give us a call and we'll be able to put you in touch with whoever will help you. And yeah, I think the website's probably where the most information is for people who want to learn more about Boland and what we do.
Yeah, I mean, LinkedIn too. If anyone's on LinkedIn, just looking for, HVAC, mechanical companies, we're on LinkedIn as well. And they can call the front desk and they will get you in touch with the right people for sure.
Excellent stuff. Well, Monica and Joe, as we come to the end of our conversation here today and begin to wrap things up, I want to give it back to you guys real quick and give you an opportunity just to give us any final thoughts you have, anything you want the audience to walk away with here today from our conversation. So, Joe, let me kick it over to you first. Any final thoughts, anything you want to share with our audience before we sign off?
Yeah, absolutely. Just that, Boland is a team. It's not just Monica or I or our technicians. We really work with each other in different departments and different resources. And, getting a service contract with Boland is much more than inspections, like we mentioned. It's relationship, it's value, it's savings. And we have all the resources in the world. We're really a one-stop shop. And our hope is that our contracted clients can see that value and really utilize it to the best of their abilities to make sure their buildings are maintained in the best way possible.
Yeah, so going off of that, Boland is a team. We work with our techs, we work with the other departments, and we do everything we can to give our clients the top service that they need to make their building run as efficiently as possible and saving them money while we're doing it. So I think bottom line is, even though it's an upfront cost, we're saving a lot more by making that valued decision for a service contract.
Well explained to you too. So thank you so much for joining us here on the podcast today and talking a little bit more about service contracts. Monica Lucas and Joe Lodico. Thank you guys again so much for joining us here on 10 Minutes to a Better Building.
Thank you, Tyler.
Thanks, Tyler.
Absolutely. And everyone, thank you for tuning into another episode of the show. We appreciate it very much. Again, remember to get in touch with Boland if you have questions, if you have things that you want answered, if you want to learn a little bit more about service contracts, make sure to get in touch with Monica and Joe. Ask those questions, get the knowledge and the understanding that you need to make the best decision for you. Talk to them a little bit about your goals and what your building needs are and how you can solve those things moving forward. And stay tuned for more episodes of the show. We'll be back soon with more episodes just like this, educating you on different topics and different ways for you to have a better building. So stay tuned for that. Make sure you subscribe on Apple Podcasts and Spotify for more. But until then, for my guests today, Joe and Monica, I've been your host, Tyler Kern. Thanks for joining us.